Good morning, welcome back. Oh, you can't see that. I really need to pick myself up a camera that can see in low light. It's really difficult to film. Rod and I are heading on an adventure today. We're going to a dam. I've been meaning to hit it since I pretty much started the channel. It's been on my list of things to do. A place where bass and jacks coexist. Half of you are like, oh, I know where you're going, and the other half are like, oh, such a magical place exists. Yes, it does. 7,000 were released a couple of years ago. I reckon 6,000 were eaten by bass in the first week. What was left of them probably would have cleared the wall when we had that massive flood. So unfortunately, I've only ever heard of one jack capture in the dam, but there is bass and jacks. Not sure how we're going to go in the middle, well, in winter. We're going to go out, see if we can catch some bass and have some fun. We got all packed. Just going to take 2 rods today. Just a bait caster and a spin rod. That's about it. Set the cameras up, have some fun. See you out at the dam. It's early. Sun doesn't rise for like another hour and a half. So Rod and I made it to the dam. He's got his skiff. I got the trusty old kayak. It's not actually as dark as it is on this camera. It's really light. You can see everywhere. Sun's not up yet. Perfect. Going to try a little bit of top water around the lily pads. Not sure. I've never fished this area before, so we'll see how we go. We're on the dam. Do you want to paddle somewhere first, or do you want to just... Probably going to stay in the shady side because that's where bass like shade. I'll have a look at the map, see where we are on the dam. We actually got reception on this dam. We'll head up this way. It's not actually that cold. I feel as though the jumper's going to come off like really quickly. Because I don't have any weedless top water, I think I'm just going to go straight to the spinnerbait. Got a 16-pound leader, so just going to chuck it in there. See how we go. It's my Hins Dam. I'm in that awkward stage where you haven't caught your first fish in the location, so you don't really know if what you're doing is right. Wishing and hoping. No luck so far. I think this day is going to be a bit of a learning curve when it comes to fishing lily pads, especially with the wrong gear. Perfect. Just what we want. Just switching over to a little weedless soft plastic. Rigged it as weedless as I can. Just having a bit of trouble with the spinnerbait through the thick lily pads. Gaps in the lily pads, and then seeing if I can just let it sink to the bottom. Might have to put a weight on the front of it. It's just not punching through lily pads like I thought. It's probably a bit big for this dam. I've been told that the bait they eat is about 3 inches long. These are about 5, but it's about, I've only got 5.0 weedless hooks. Can't really have anything less than about 5 inches. Really low on a bit of gear at the moment. Not having much luck. Yeah, I think if we just keep going, eventually something will work. Oh, surely there's a little bass sitting in that tree. I can see how this dam can very quickly test your patience. I don't know why I bought a fish net with me. It's not like we're going to be catching any fish today. We're roughly about an hour and a half in now. Still not even a touch between me and Rod. Can't even catch fish in a place where they release fish. This 3-inch soft plastic that someone left in my car. I'm really struggling for good lures that are small. It's a 3-inch Z-Man minnow in nuclear chicken, I think. Hard to find something that fits on a 5.0 weedless hook. It's all you want. Bass hits so hard. Throw it in, it'll be when you least expect it, and it'll be like boom, and you're like, oh! Just gonna go across the other side, see what's going on. It's been a very quiet morning so far. How long are we into fishing? 2 hours. Battery's about to go dead. And we're away. Second battery in. Let's see how we go. Come across to the other side of the dam. Did you get a fish? Really? How big? That's my spinnerbait. I think Rod just caught a bass on my spinnerbait that I lent him. Does that count as mine, does it? Pretty sure. I might change over to spinnerbait. That's so cool. So jealous. Right, spinnerbait time. Just changed over to the spinnerbait. Rod just got one on the spinnerbait. Monkey see, monkey do. He's got my white one, so I've got a black and purple one. I'm so happy for him. Not. I want one. This is just pay whack because I took him to Hin's Dam last Monday for a bass session. I got 2 bass and a toga and he... Come on, how is this not attracting a bass? I can hear it going through the water. I'm just going to try putting one of these little curly tails on the end of my spinnerbait just to give it some green rather than just purple and black. One of these bad boys. I think it's a razor edge lure. Little curly tail brawler boat in Chameleon, which is actually UV. That's why I love this colour. I'm going to stick this underneath my skirt. Oh, that's beautiful. Just add a little bit of green colour to the black. I used black and purple for Hin's Dam because they feed on the crayfish that are out there, but I heard they feed more on the gudgeons here, which are like a greeny colour. Put that on. Hopefully that'll give us some luck. We must be catching fish. He hasn't come out of that little nook for a while. How big was it, like 25 or something? I just tried these 2 little arms, but I got nothing. Might just go around the corner. There's a really long arm just around the corner. Her rod's on one, not a very big one, he said. At least he's on the board. I just want to feel some line pull. I was going to blow past this, but it's a windy, shady side, so it's got to be good for a bass. Yep. Yes. Woohoo! Fish on. Yes. I was just about to blow past this section. Oh, don't flip out. Yes. Tell you what, that little grub worked. That's the first cast with the little grub on. Classic stitch up, that is. How's this? Beautiful looking bass. He's healthy. Look at that. It's right here on the weed edge. Let it sink to the bottom. There we go. That little grub in amongst the spinnerbait worked. There it is. First little clary haul bass. Pretty stoked with that. Been putting in the effort this morning. We're up to about 2 hours and 50 minutes or somewhere around that. Stoked to finally have one on the board. On the spinnerbait. Tried a heap this morning. Very quiet morning. Get this young fella back in. How good's that? Beautiful location, beautiful fish. There he goes. On the board! You get one? Yeah, just here. It's turning on rod. We're letting it sink to the bottom and then just slow wind off and then give it a bit of, you kind of have to give it a bit of a tug to get it through any weed that it's in. And then once it's through, just kind of a slow wind. Definitely going to hit this again in summer though, because apparently the top water is amazing, throwing like little frogs and stuff over the top of the weeds. Watching the bass come and smash them. Well, I'm starting to think after another hour of, is it an hour? Yeah, another hour of casting, that it wasn't my ingenious lure idea, that it was more about the location of that bass. I think I just popped it right on his head, and that my ingenious lure idea hasn't got him fired up. Surely there's got to be bass along this weed edge. Look at this. This looks lovely down the back here. Hope it produces some more fish because it has been a really tough morning. I don't know if you can hear that. Oh! Bass just hit the surface. Right at the back of the weeds. I wonder if I can get this in here. That was a stupid idea. right at the back here. Something just hit the surface, little bass. I just saw a platypus. That's the first platypus I've ever seen. That is so cool. Just underneath this tree, he was just frolicking around. He's back again. It is too a platypus. Wow. You do not see platypus very often, and normally you have to get up dawn to go and find them. I think they're more of a nocturnal hunter. Ah, big bass just hit the surface. Man, that sucks. Big bass just like poof. Yeah, right in these reeds here. They just must be a bit finicky today, eh? There's another platypus. There's another platypus. Probably a metre in front to the right of that log up there. Well, that concludes our day in the dam. Rod and I are going to head home, but we're going to stop off in a few more creeks on the way home and see how we go. Hopefully we can get some creek bass because the dam was a little bit tough today. Very tough. What did we do? Like, is that 4 or 5 hours? 4.5 hours for one bass each, which is all right because we did, how many hours did we do at Hins? Over 8. Let's go for some creek bass. Rod and I are going to stop off on some places on the way home and try our luck in the creeks because dam bass is not going off. Rod and I just got back from the dam trip. Bit disappointed with how we went with our 5 hours of fishing. Rod's happy because he at least caught a fish. We only caught 1 fish each. So we're actually going to drive back and find some little creeks and just try a little bit of creek fishing for the bass. Just setting up now. Probably going to go with some little soft plastics rather than the spinner baits, little paddle tails. Hopefully we get something, but we'll see how we go. Just going to go for a bit of an explore. This always kind of fails for me, but one day it'll work. So yeah, we're going to drive back, find some little creeks to stop off at, and hopefully catch a few more bass, because yeah, this morning's effort was a little bit touch and go. Next stop, creek bass. Spot number 3. Number 2 didn't yield anything. Now we are really roughing it. Here we go. You know what we could do? Take my kayak off the roof and slowly just paddle up a little bit. Rod and I tried bush bashing, that wasn't working, so we got the kayak off the roof. Yeah, I want to mount mine up high too, eh? Oh, yep. Oh. Yes. Out of the woods.
A good bass.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh no! He spattered!
Oh.
Because we crushed the barb! Oh. When I was putting this on, literally the barb went through my finger, so he crushed the barb to get it back out. And I just lost that bass! No! That's devastating. That was like 3rd cast in. Can't believe it. Dropped one already. I knew I should have put another hook on. We should have been fishing the creek all morning.
Yeah, I know, this is fun.
Making our way downtown, walking fast, cause I need ya, and I miss ya, and now I want you.
Look there again.
Wow, what is that? That's a platypus.
Is it a platypus?
That's a platypus.
Oh wow, he's just sitting on it. Oh!
Yes!
Oh.
Look at that!
Look at that! There's a platypus and a hookup.
Oh, look at that, that's fighting good.
Far out. He just smashed it right there. He's like, I don't even need to wind. He's like, he hooked himself right at the boat.
We're looking at the platypus. Well done.
Yes.
We work so hard for these fish.
I got a fish. That's so fun.
That's awesome. That was a good fight too. Yeah. I've given Rod the best part of the kayak and I'm paddling for him. I'm pretty much Rod's guide right now.
Yeah. Well,
and it's really making my videos suffer. It hit it at the kayak.
Yeah, like right at the kayak.
Oh, that's a chunk.
Yeah, he's a good one. He's solid. He's a nice little fish, isn't he? Oh, you want me to do?
Yeah. Oh, yeah, grab it. Yeah. And then hand behind its little, underneath that fin there, so that you can't see your fingers.
Like that?
Yeah. And now smile. And then get rid of your hand. Like just like that. Oh, perfect.
Yes.
That's awesome.
That's a good photo.
That's so good. First bass on the kayak this afternoon. Rod's stoked. Rod's stoked.
I'm actually really stoked.
I just watched your rod bend over and I was like, what's going on? That's so cool.
Sick. Where's that platypus? How cool was that?
Yeah, it was like literally just
Kept
there.
popping up and yeah.
Oh man, now I'm jealous again. We've seen 3 platypuses today.
Yeah.
Unbelievable. We thought it was a bass. We're going, look at the bass. Why is it still on the surface?
What could go wrong?
Nothing. It's pretty stable, the thing. There we go. What do you reckon? Our best chance is probably downriver. Ah, crushed the barb and I lost my fish.
Do you have another jig head or anything?
Yeah. I was thinking maybe put a different lure on the way back and we just float back. Either find a spot downstream or call it quits. Really thought we would have got one out of there. Well, Rod and I just called it quits after a long day fishing. 2 bass for you. I lost one in the creek and got one in the dam. So 1 bass in about, it was a good 8 hours of mucking around and doing stuff and fishing.
Long day.
Long day. We were going to keep going, but then we realised it's bass close season, which is only applies to tidal waters, but we still don't want to, it's like right at the start. So obviously bass are heading down to do their spawning. So just realised we thought it was July, not June, but it's June, bass close season. So we don't really want to put any extra pressure on the bass heading down for their spawning. So we just called it quits. 1 bass, hey, all day. Rod got a cracker. Yeah, tough, very tough. Thanks for watching, guys. If you enjoyed it, make sure to give it a thumbs up and we'll see you next episode.